Right now, the Brewers look to close out their series in a winner-take-all game against the Chicago Cubs. We'll catch up with the fans. Also, the Madison Fire Department investigates a vacant house fire, all that we know so far. Plus, we're following how two organizations are teaming up ahead of Madison Housing Week. That's all coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. We're on the tail end of a must-watch game between the Brewers and the Cubs. And great for the Brew Crew, they just took a 3-1 final win. As always, fans were tailgating before the first pitch. Our Tanisha Shaw asked the fans how they were feeling heading into Game 5.
The blue jerseys that you see on your screen are taking over American Family Field again.
Go Brewers! Go Cubs, go!
During this National League Division Series, the Brewers and Cubs took full advantage of their home games, tying the series 2-2.
I bought these tickets for this game before the wild card series, before we even played the Padres. So, we were very hopeful. Going 2 down, not great, but going back to Wrigley is always a home field advantage. So we're very happy about that, and it turned out to be beneficial for us.
Feeling very confident. Definitely going to win. Cubs are going to be sad after this game.
Everyone's been kicking it at home, right? On their home field. They destroyed us. Then we destroyed them. So this is really going to be crazy whether we could beat them here at their home field.
I was feeling a lot better before the last 2 games.
Fans are well aware that Saturday's game at American Family Field is a make it or break it game. I spoke to some fans that support the Brewers and I spoke to other fans that support the Cubs. Both fans said that no matter how Saturday's games pans out, they will always be proud of their team's season this year.
It was a great season, one of the best seasons ever. I was at the 82 World Series, so it's been 42 years since we went to a World Series, but this is our year. We've had a great year. Either way, win or lose, it's a great team.
That if we do lose, we lost to a very good team.
Go Brewers!
Go Cubs, go!
Reporting in Milwaukee, Tanisha Shaw, 3 Now.
Tanisha, thank you. Well, now that they've won, the Brewers advance to the National League Championship Series, facing off against the LA Dodgers. Now let's go ahead and get a look at your First One forecast with meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze.
And it is going to be another beautiful day across central and southern Wisconsin as we end the weekend back into the 70s underneath partly sunny and breezy conditions. Winds are going to be maybe gusting upwards of 20 miles per hour or 25 miles per hour out of the southeast on Sunday. So if you're heading closer to Lake Michigan, maybe up to Lambeau to cheer on the Packers, it'll be a little bit cooler than, say, if you're staying home in Madison or Lone Rock or even in Platteville, where we're likely going to hang out in those 70s. Partly sunny conditions ahead of rain chances beginning Sunday night, continuing into Monday. That cold front is going to cool us down, but it's not going to stop our rain chances next week. As you can see, we could see a little bit of some light rain activity Tuesday into Wednesday and then maybe later next week. So with that cold front passing, our temperatures really going to cool down next week. We'll take a look in the full forecast.
All right, sounds good, Blaze. We'll see you in just a bit. The Madison Fire Department is investigating after a vacant house fire overnight. Multiple callers alerted 911 around 11:30 p.m. about a house fire at a vacant house at 123 North Butler Street, which is just a few blocks northeast of the Capitol. When firefighters arrived, they found flames through the roof. They were able to protect the 2 houses on either side from catching on fire. After the fire was under control, they conducted a search within all 3 properties for people hurt. Fortunately, no one was found. In DeForest, officials are investigating an apartment fire on Valeria Drive. On Friday morning, just before 8:30 a.m., the DeForest Windsor Fire and EMS department were dispatched to an apartment building on fire. They brought the fire under control within just 15 minutes. 2 residents suffered mild smoke inhalation. There were no other injuries. 3 families are temporarily out of a home following the fire. Federal trial dates have been set for the former Sun Prairie dean accused of child sex crimes. Robert Gilkey Meisiger will appear in federal court on April 27th of next year. The trial is expected to last 3 days. In August, a federal grand jury indicted Gilkey Meisiger on charges of producing, attempting to produce, and possessing child sexual abuse materials. He has pled not guilty to those charges. The woman accused of attacking a Madison Metro bus driver, causing the bus to crash into a local restaurant, has been sentenced. On August 13th, Raven Johnson pleaded guilty to second-degree recklessly endangering safety and attempted battery to a public transit operator. In February, Johnson attacked a bus driver, causing him to lose control and crash into the Asian House restaurant on Madison's east side. She's now sentenced to 3 years in prison. She's also banned from any Madison Metro property, including buses. The Big Ten is teaming up with healthcare technologies company Abbott for a second year of the We Give Blood drive for local communities. And Wisconsin needs your help. We Give Blood is an annual competition among Big Ten schools to see who can donate the most blood throughout the college football season. Over 30,000 people have donated already, which is 10,000 more than last year's total. Wisconsin is in the lead right now, but needs your help to stay ahead of second place, Nebraska.
It's incredibly easy to give blood, and you're making a huge impact. The U.S. is currently experiencing some of the worst blood shortages we've seen in a generation. The more people that donate, the more lives that are being saved. Each donation saves up to 3 lives, and blood is needed every 2 seconds in the U.S.
To join in on the competition, just go to bigten.com//Abbott and enter your zip code to find the nearest donation spots. Once you donate, you can choose which school to send your vote to, and in return, you'll get a special edition t-shirt for your contribution. The Madison Housing Coalition is partnering with AARP Wisconsin as part of Madison Housing Week. It's an opportunity for all Madisonians to learn and advocate for affordable housing solutions as the city continues to grow. AARP Wisconsin says it's focused on more housing choices.
We know that a large majority of the population in Wisconsin and in Madison are 1- and 2-person households living in 3- and 4-bedroom homes that just don't need that much space. And as particularly as you grow older, you just need a much smaller space to take care of and maintain.
AARP supports zoning changes and ordinances that allow for more affordable housing options, including the ability for people to build granny flats on their property. Those are structures where aging loved ones can live instead of being pushed into nursing homes. Madison Housing Week runs from October 19th through the 25th. Today, Vel Phillips Memorial High School was host to a ceremonial concert to celebrate 25 years of the music style Mel Harmony. Mel Harmony explores chords and counterpoints with melodic progression in contrast to the traditional Western approach, anchored in harmonic progression. Since its coining in 2000, multiple Mel Harmony concerts have been held across the world in hopes of bringing together diverse cultures through music.
I love the music, the rhythmic motives that the students get to study, hearing other groups. I think it's a great cultural exchange.
In this era of polarization, I think music is one of the binding factors. And in that context, Mel Harmony is one of those gluing factors in world music today. So the more music we make and the more music we encourage our future generations to make, the more musical and tuneful our whole planet would be.
You can learn more about Mel Harmony at melharmonymusic.com. Coming up next on News 3 Now at 10, Blaze returns with a complete look of your First One forecast. Plus, a renewed hope for peace and ending the war in Ukraine. And we take a look back at Diane Keaton's life and career.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Thank you for staying with us. President Donald Trump said he will impose an additional 100% tariff on Chinese exports to the U.S. That's on top of the existing 30% tariffs already in effect. In a Truth Social post Friday, Trump said the tariffs will take effect November 1st or sooner. The president also said the U.S. will impose export controls on any and all critical software. Trump's actions are in response to China ramping up export controls on critical rare earth minerals, which are needed to produce many electronics. The action is a massive escalation after months of a trade truce between the U.S. and China. Trump is scheduled to meet with the Chinese leader later this month. The president said the meeting has not been canceled, even though earlier Friday he said he no longer sees a reason to even meet. Tonight, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky is hoping for peace in his country's war with Russia. After speaking to President Trump, the two leaders spoke by phone. In a social post, Zelensky shared that they discussed opportunities to bolster air defenses including what Axios reports is the transfer of Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine. CBS's Torian Small is at the White House with the latest.
President Trump pulling the trigger on his threats of mass firings. More than 4,000 federal workers getting their pink slips, according to a DOJ filing. That's a first in a government shutdown that looks set to stretch into a third week.
It'll be a lot, and we'll announce the numbers over the next couple of days, but it'll be a lot of people, all because of the Democrats.
Still on the job, FAA and the TSA working without a paycheck. Greeting travelers this holiday weekend, this partisan message from the Trump administration at airports around the country.
Democrats in Congress refuse to fund the federal government. And because of this, many of our operations are impacted, and most of our TSA employees are working without pay.
Also not getting paid, the military. But President Trump today announcing a fix on his social media using money allocated to the Pentagon, writing he will, quote, use all available funds to get our troops paid on October 15th. This after House Republican leaders blocked a bipartisan bill for emergency military pay on Friday.
I do have questions about where these funds are coming from, and ultimately why we wouldn't just do the right thing in bringing Congress back into session, passing a bill like my Pay Our Military Act in order to ensure that this is not something that will be questioned on its legality.
The stalemate also impacting farmers. Crucial agencies like the USDA are now closed. David Burrier represents more than 700 farmers across Frederick County, Maryland.
Everybody's just on hold. Nothing's moving forward. Everything's just on a standstill.
Torian Small, CBS News, the White House.
Something we'll definitely be keeping our eye on in the coming weeks. Now let's go ahead and get a look at your first one forecast with meteorologist Blaise Keller. Blaise.
And it is going to be a quiet night across central and southern Wisconsin. Partly cloudy conditions, temperatures settling into the 40s. Not seeing as many 30s on the map tonight, but still another night to keep the windows open and let in some fresh air. We're watching as our next system begins to move off of the Rockies tonight and will move into the Dakotas throughout the day on Sunday. That's going to lead to more breezy conditions to end the weekend, along with more partly sunny conditions as well. Starting Sunday night through maybe Tuesday, we're dealing with our next chance for light rain, an emphasis on the light, because this low pressure system is not only pushing off towards southern parts of Canada, but its cold front is kind of weak. And again, I mentioned this a couple of times, but we're just in that point of the year where there's not a whole lot of moisture for these systems to really play with. And that exiting high pressure system that kept us quiet this weekend, it's still on the stronger side. So this cold front and that rain really fall apart as we go throughout your Monday afternoon. However, we could see a little bit of moisture move back into the picture as we go into Tuesday. Once again, though this is coming out of the south, a lot more of that moisture is going to be off to our west, so we'll likely only get a little bit here and there throughout the day Tuesday. Let's take it in closer to home Sunday night into Monday. That's when this cold front is going to move on through. I think the bulk of the rain is really going to pick up after the midnight hour and last through at least 7, 8 o'clock on Monday. From there, it's going to be hit or miss light rain showers as we start to see maybe a little bit more sunshine to end Monday before that next round of rain moves in on Tuesday. If we take a look at just Monday's rain, because I think a lot more of that moisture is going to be off to our west on Tuesday. We're looking at totals anywhere between a tenth to a quarter of an inch. So a little bit at best. Unfortunately, this is coming at a time that we're really needing some rain. We used all of our rainy day fund throughout the month of September because we didn't get a whole lot of rain then. So unfortunately, this first chance for rain next week is going to be on the lighter side. Maybe if all things hold together, we get a little bit more heavy, more of that moderate soaking rain by the end of next week when temperatures rebound back into those mid to upper 60s. Until then, we're going to go from the low 70s tomorrow and Monday to those low 60s, low to mid 60s, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That's passing. That's that passing of the cold front. Usually takes about a day for that cooler air to move on in. So it'll be warm on Monday, and then we'll feel more like fall, or at least a little bit cooler there Tuesday and Wednesday. And confidence isn't as strong that maybe longer out into more of late October that we stay warmer than average. I'm not seeing those really dark reds. Instead, I'm seeing just about a 30 to 40% chance, the lightest shade of orange there as we go from the 19th through the 25th. So maybe Halloween is looking a little bit more normal in terms of temperatures this year. There's a look at the 7 and 10 day forecast. Rain chances, as I mentioned, Monday and Tuesday, drying out Wednesday, Thursday before another chance for some rain and slightly warmer temperatures to end next week, going into next weekend.
Wow, I mean, the fact that we're talking about Halloween, it seems like yesterday we were like in summer and we were still sweating.
We got into the 90s, yeah. It really did feel like summer.
Quick question before we move on.
Yes.
Favorite Diane Keaton movie?
Probably The Family Stone.
Yeah.
I don't know why that. I haven't seen a whole lot of her work, but that one I did see, and it just really stuck.
I think
phenomenal actress.
I think I'm gonna go with Father of the Bride.
Okay.
It's another like heartwarming.
Yeah. She was great.
Absolutely. Well, we're gonna talk about her here in just a second. I know. Well, unfortunately, today we learned that actress Diane Keaton has died in California. She was 79 years old. Keaton's family made the announcement but did not specify a cause. As CBS's Ali Bowman reports, Keaton's self-deprecating grace, humor, and offbeat charm made her a Hollywood superstar.
Is it true? Diane Keaton's first big movie role won over audiences in 1972, opposite Al Pacino in The Godfather, one of the greatest American films ever. Just 5 years later, she earned an Academy Award for her iconic performance in Woody Allen's Annie Hall, propelling her to Hollywood royalty. It was one of 8 films she worked on with Allen, and the pair dated briefly. She was also linked to some of Hollywood's biggest names, including Warren Beatty. Whether as the empathetic mother in Father of the Bride or a vengeful first wife,
Don't put me under split.
Keaton charmed audiences with her quirky wit, though as she told Katie Couric on CBS Sunday Morning, her demeanor made it difficult to break into the industry.
I would always fail because they would always say to me, "You're too kooky."
Keaton was known on screen and off for her tailored style marked by menswear. The prolific actress was working on 3 productions when she died.
We thought we were going to have her forever, and it's just such a gut punch.
Clayton Davis is an editor for Variety.
This is someone who was thoughtful, someone that never chased what Hollywood wanted her to be.
Diane Keaton is survived by her 2 children. Ali Bauman, CBS News, New York.
And coming up in sports, a huge day in Wisconsin sports. Let's see how the Brew Crew fared in their big matchup against the Chicago Cubs.
The Brewers have not won a playoff series since 2018, but tonight at AmFam, they had a chance to change that. Game 5 of the NLDS, 2 outs in the first, and who else but William Contreras hits a solo shot to put the Brew Crew on the board first. How about that for Wild Bill? But by the 4th inning, it was all tied up with the Cubs until King Vaughn put one up, and away. Andrew Vaughn makes it 2-1 with a solo shot of his own. And in the 8th, Bryce Terang gave the Crew some insurance. Who said the Brewers couldn't hit bombs as they beat the Cubs 3-1, and they are headed to the NLCS. What an incredibly exciting time for the Crew. All offseason, Wisconsin football had a rallying cry. It was remembering what happened when they played Iowa last year. It was a beatdown that Iowa put on the Badgers last season, and all offseason long, Wisconsin thought they could change that this time around at Camp Randall. Monte Ball was honored after the first quarter he was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame, but by that point, after that first quarter, his Badgers were down bad. Iowa turned Wisconsin's second turnover into a touchdown. Kamari Moulton with the score, giving the Hawkeyes a quick 10-0 lead that they'd only add to. Hunter Simmons trying to stymie some Badger offense to no avail. His pass picked off and returned to the 1-yard line, setting up yet another Iowa score. Mark Gronowski takes it into the house, and the Hawks headed to half, leading 23-0. Camp Randall sent Bucky to the break with booze and chants of fire fickle, but still nothing changed. Iowa's Xavier Williams found the end zone in the 3rd and fourth quarters, letting the Hawkeyes jump around at Camp Randall. Another week, another embarrassing loss for the Badgers, who lose the Heartland Trophy 37-0 as that trophy heads back to Iowa City.
That's as low as it can be, and I apologize. I apologize to our guys. To not be ready, to not have them ready. I'm dumbfounded in a lot of ways, but that's my job. And this is a game we've been talking about since January, and I've been doing a lot of things to make sure we were ready and prepared, and obviously we were not.
But that wasn't the only big game for the Badgers today, so let's pretend like what happened right here on this field never happened and restart our day. We start with a big one on the ice. Number 1, Wisconsin against number 4, Minnesota Duluth. But Duluth scores the go-ahead goal with 9 minutes left. But the Badgers are never out. 20 seconds left, and Caroline Harvey strikes the equalizer. We're tied at 3, but the Badgers still weren't done. Check this out. Just about 10 seconds left. Cassie Hall goes ahead for the Badgers. Are you kidding me? Where have we seen this late goal magic before? Mark Johnson's Badgers are never out of it, and they stay undefeated, taking down Duluth and the Bulldogs 4-3. Big games in our state today, and we go 2 for 3. Wisconsin women, they win. The Brewers do too. Wisconsin on this football field, though, did anything but. It'll be a long road back to greatness for the Badgers, but we've still got some football to go tomorrow. The Packers host the Bengals on CBS tomorrow, and we'll send it back to you guys. Actually, why don't we send it to break? So at Camp Randall Stadium, I'm Andrew Banstra for News 3 Sports. We'll be right back.
Break. Andrew had mentioned there's a pretty important game on our network tomorrow afternoon at 3:45 right here on CBS. The Packers are playing some team from Ohio.
It doesn't matter.
What should we expect heading into game day tomorrow?
Partly sunny conditions, not only if you're staying home, but if you're heading up to Lambeau. Probably will be a little bit cooler, probably more in those low to mid 60s. But if you're staying home or staying here in southern Wisconsin, we're looking at more or less the upper 60s to low 70s. It will be breezy tomorrow across all of Wisconsin before that rain moves in starting later Sunday night and sticks with us mainly through the morning hours on Monday. Possibly a shower or two on Tuesday when we settle into those low 60s, where we will stay through next Friday, when we could see yet another chance for some much needed rain, and that rain chance could extend into that following weekend.
Those temps look pretty good, pretty fall-like.
Very fall-like, yeah.
All right, well, sounds good. Thank you, Blaze. Thank you all for joining us. Seinfeld is up next. We'll see you back here tomorrow.